Well, let's take a look at week number 4, which would be module number 4. Now, this is an advanced class. This one deals with furnaces and water heaters. We put both of these together because there's so many similarities in it, and it's easy to troubleshoot. Once you begin to kind of understand one, then it falls over to the other fairly easy. Okay, so let's walk through what we're going to be looking at for the RV Technician Apprenticeship Program for week number 4, or module number 4 of the advanced classes. Okay. This week 4, module 4, like I said, it's RV water heaters and furnaces combined. It is an advanced course, so it's part of the dealer services training, and it's there so that way it builds into the flow of knowledge. Primarily, we'll see more work on the water heaters. People, for whatever reason, don't seem to take care of their water heaters like they should, so there seems to be a lot of service in it. Those that we're seeing on the furnaces typically happens to be because maybe this thing is set up for a great deal of time, and then maybe they sold it. The new people are going to be trying to use it, and we'll see basically both situations is all because of neglect. That's really the big thing we see with these two appliances here. There are prerequisites. We're going to require, before you come and take this advanced class, that you have completed the RV maintenance class. That's that 5-day hands-on core or foundational class. If you take any of the advanced classes, it's going to be required. Some of you may come to us that you have done the home study option, where you have studied the same material that you would have seen in the RV maintenance course because we recorded it and put it on a USB thumb drive, but you will have also taken an exam. So when you come, we'll know that you have the knowledge, you have the core. There will be some special overrides. There always is some instructor discretion on who can come in and who's not. It's usually based upon the experience of the individual, some past training that they've had, and then of course we're going to give them an exam. We need to know that when they come, they're ready to do the class. They're not going to slow the class down, because this is a fast-paced, hands-on, in the labs course that has to move at a good clip, so that way everybody can get the material they need. What we're going to be doing with these water heaters. Now let's just take a look at the water heaters first, then we'll look at the furnaces. I mean, we're going to go back into the in-depth theory, and what you're looking at here in this slide is happens to be Suburban water heaters. Okay, the beautiful thing about them, all of the components that we're going to work on this water heater are going to be on the front side, with the exception of the circuit board. Now, Suburban likes to put their circuit board back behind. They have a little plastic cover that goes over the circuit board. They've got double-sided sticky tape that you stick it onto the back someplace, the back of the water heater someplace. But most of the components you're dealing with Suburbans on the front side. So we're going to look at how that works, how they're different than Atwoods. Hands-on troubleshooting. I mean, it goes back to that thing of, if you can put your hands on it, you can work on it, and then all of a sudden you remember it, and that's what we're trying to do. We'll be looking at some of the diagnostic testing. The big thing is the thermostat controls. With our friends here at Suburban, they've got one thermostat control for the 12-volt side that runs the propane. If this unit happens to have a 120-volt heating element, it'll also have its own set of thermostats and emergency cutoff involved with that. We've got to look at the burners, the heating elements. We see more heating elements burned out because of people not putting water in the tanks. Plain and simple. Circuit boards, it used to be that there was a lot of problems with the boards, but I'll have to say I'm seeing fewer and fewer circuit board issues, and if they are, it's usually because of neglect. The electrode, I mean, those are something that most of these guys, a technician can replace those in just a matter of a few minutes. But it's one of those things that it's a necessary thing that they understand how to service it, how to clean it, how to pull the water out of it, how to flush the tank, because that's how they preserve it, how you extend the life of these things. So that's what you do in these hands-on classes, hands-on, because once they get it, they've got it. They don't turn loose. I mean, let's face it, with these hands-on learners, that's how they learn. So once they get their hands on it, everything's good. Now the furnaces, I mean, they look a little different, but quite honestly, they function the same way. I mean, the propane valves, operating off of the thermostat, and of course, they'll have control boards just like the water heaters do. So we'll be going through the operational theory, the sequence of what you're going to see at certain points, because that's always the key. You need to be able to take your volt ohm meter and be able to test certain points and know exactly what you're looking for. If that voltage is there, great, then you move on down the line. If it's not there, then you back up. So we'll be looking at the thermostat controls, We're going to be looking at the electrode and the gas burner assembly, pretty much almost the same as you would see in a water heater. I mean, they look a little different, but they function, do the same thing. I mean, we're talking 20 to 30,000 volts, sparking out that electrode. The gas valves opened up, letting gas out, and we get spark. Circuit board operation, there's several sequences of things that happen when you and I push the button and tell these direct spark ignition water heaters what to do. A sequence of operations fire, and we need to know what that sequence is, so that way if it's not working, we'll understand, okay, this is not taking place, so it's got to be this piece of the circuit that's not doing it. Cleaning and servicing, sometimes that can be a challenge getting to these these furnaces, but the thing about it is that once somebody shows you how to take it apart, put it back together, clean it, put it back together, you got it. You need to be able to put the hands on. And then of course, we'll have the labs, the hands-on labs, so these guys can troubleshoot. There's plenty of bugs that we can put in these things, plenty of things that they can learn by doing and by experiencing the real life situations, just like it would be if a customer come in through the door. Now, we're going to be using Atwood, or the old style Atwoods, which is now made by Dometic. So there'll be a combination of both the Dometic brand as well as Atwood out there. Suburban water heaters, Dometic, Suburban furnaces. These instructors that we're utilizing that are here, they're experienced technicians. So they've seen a lot of stuff. They've seen the mud daubers. They've seen the yellow jackets. They've seen, abuse, neglect on these things. And the beautiful thing about it is when you've got RVs that are sitting in the service base, the technicians can see, they can work on right there in the base, so they know exactly where that appliance is. So they'll know how to identify it by the door or by the vents and that sort of thing. So, there's little tricks that we can show them. Okay, if you look for this, this is the brand it is. If you look for this, this is the brand that one is. And so those are tricks that we want to make sure that they take with them, so that way when they come back to your shop, they're ready to go to work and ready to be productive for you. So they need to sign up, because it's one of those things to where if you're exposed to it and somebody walks you through it, shows you the shortcuts, gives you that knowledge that they've had, the experience they've had for 20, 30 years, convey that information to that new tech, then what you're doing is you're giving that tech that you're bringing back, you're giving him a jump start into this industry, helping them develop a career. So get them to sign up for the RV water heaters and furnaces, so that way they can be productive when they come back to your shop and ready to go.